So, week 3 face-off. Actually, I should put you guys on opposite sides here. Lions at Vikings. Looks more correct on my screen.
Go Vikings.
Go Lions. Got a team
Go
this year.
Cowboy. Oh, wait, this ain't my team. Yeah, I forgot to warn you guys there was an intro too, so I hope you weren't trying to talk after the countdown.
No.
All right, so let's hop into this thing. Lions at Vikings. So we'll just like a coin toss, we'll let the visiting team go first. Who do you think's going to win this game and why?
All right, so I think this will be a good game because the Lions are banged up a little bit up front, but I think the Lions got a fight in this one, and that just starts with how dominant the run game's been. A lot of games are controlled in the trenches, and I like where the Lions are at right now. So, usually I don't say this, but I think the Lions are going to sneak out with the win and surprise a lot of people.
Honestly, I don't think it would be that surprising.
Yeah. They started with the bar pretty high, especially with Hard Knocks, but
yeah, which was fantastic, by the way. I loved watching Hard Knocks this year.
Yeah, I did it.
Steve, what do you think, bud?
Oh, I mean, of course, it's a possibility the Lions could win. I mean, especially with our just garbage, trash defense. Last week was just a debacle on all cylinders, and it just looked bad. But that could be a good thing in this case, as we're coming back home, to Minnesota. We get to play at home. They've already said they want to get Dalvin Cook more involved. Obviously, last week, just down by a bunch of points, we're playing catch up. We just only 6 rushes for Dalvin Cook. So I expect him to be a lot more heavily involved and kind of them lean on the run game a little bit more this week compared to last week. So I expect a big game from Dalvin Cook. And I do think the Vikings come out on top, but it could be a very high scoring game. I mean, Lions have put up 30 plus points the first 2 games each. So,
second ranked offense in the NFL right now.
I mean, I've got Swift and Amon-Ra on a bunch of my fantasy teams. I'm very high on them, especially with the Vikings defense not being good. I do expect them to have good games. I just think in the end, the Vikings will pull it out. Like I said, I think they'll lean on Dalvin Cook a lot more this game.
You did make me think, though, when you were talking about the defense, a big thing is we've seen the Lions play with the guys who are hurt already, and we didn't get any new injuries last week, really, that we're expecting to miss. But it'll be interesting to see how you guys do without Harrison Smith.
Yeah, that was a big one in my video. Whoever's watching, you can check out the app or the website, and you'll see my video on the Vikings, where I mentioned that as well. Harrison Smith being out, I mean, it's a big hit, especially in the secondary. I mean, 13 tackles last week, so we're gonna be missing that. Expect Eric Kendricks to kind of pick it up a little bit this week, but I'm worried about the defense, but I know we can put up points. Obviously, just like you guys, it's not like your defense is any better than ours. So I mean, it could be a shootout.
Yeah,
I'm thinking shootout, and I'm excited for it. I'm here for it. I have a lot of JJ stock. I have a lot of Swift and Amon-Ra stock, so I'm happy. I'm excited for this one for sure.
Yeah.
You brought up the run game, which, by the way, I respect the purple Jesus jersey. As an OU fan,
always.
Since you mentioned the run game, who do you guys think is going to be the top running back in this game? Either team, and we'll let Steve go first this time.
I think Dalvin Cook obviously is going to be involved in both the pass game and the run game. Like I said, I think they lean heavily on him this game, as to where Swift, a little bit of that ankle injury where last game he didn't kind of play all the snaps. He was taken out a little bit. So I expect him to still be in there, but I do expect Dalvin Cook to just do a lot more damage on the ground. Passing wise, maybe Swift has a little bit more catches as they're trying to catch up. But I think overall Dalvin Cook will end up with more yards in total than Swift.
Yeah. So me personally, I'm kind of in the same boat. I think Dalvin Cook has a better rushing game. The Lions are being cautious with Swift a little bit as far as running in between the tackles at the moment with his ankle. It sounds like they were preserving him since it was such a blowout versus Washington. Granted, the score didn't end up being that way, but they went up 22-0 right away, and that's kind of when they started preserving him. So I think they'll use him a decent amount still out of the backfield, and they will, of course, still run him. But I think when you see those 3rd and 2s, 3rd and 1s, you're going to see a lot more Jamal Williams just to take off that load of Swift, and Jamal Williams really is built for those 3rd and 1s, 3rd and 2s. So I just think Dalvin Cook will just carry more of a load in general in this game because the Lions just happen to have 2 really solid backs that they can afford to take Swift out in some of those situations.
As fantasy owners, we hate it when Jamal comes in on the goal line.
Oh my god!
This year, the first game, we kept taking him out whenever we got in the red zone. I'm like, those people
He'd run for 50 yards, go down at the 1, and then Jamal's like, "Thanks."
Right?
It was like they either plan to use Jamal at the goal line every time, no matter what, or Swift is really out of shape and needed a breather after every one of those long runs. I don't know.
That's exactly what I said. I'm like, I don't know what to think. Are they just giving him all the goal line carries, or is Swift just getting them down there on big plays and he's just coming out and then Jamal's coming in? So it's.
I mean, on these 50-yard runs, he keeps getting hawked down. I'm like, man, you just gotta get a little bit more cardio in.
Yeah,
man. Just outrun him. Last week was impressive because he was doing it with a bum ankle.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, and even though Jamal Williams is taking that goal line work, I mean, Swift is still scoring touchdowns. So
yeah. You just got to do it from a little further out. That's all.
Yeah, exactly.
What about receivers? Who do you guys think is going to be the top fantasy receiver coming out of this game? Andrew, we'll start with you this time.
So it is hard to not say Justin Jefferson, but Jeff Okudah's been lights out this year so far. He gave up 0 catches to Devontae Smith, and then he locked down Terry McLaurin up until the second half. He started having a little bit of success, but he still did a very good job on Terry. It was more Will Harris, who Lions fans hate, just kept getting burnt. He kind of messed up everything in that secondary. But Amani's coming back. So I don't know what their whole plan is to do with the corners, so it'll be interesting. But with Okudah having the hot hand and Amani coming off injury, I think Okudah will be on Justin Jefferson. So Amon-Ra's this week, he has a chance to break a record. He's going for another touchdown, 8 reception game to break that record. So I'm going to say Amon-Ra has a big game, although, of course, it won't be surprising if Justin Jefferson comes out of the gates, doing his thing. So
these are 2 receivers I love, so it's a difficult choice for sure. What do you think, Steve?
I mean, I can agree on on some of it. Of course, I think he does break the record. I hope he does, to be honest. I hope he does. I hope he gets 8 catches, gets his little 100 yards and a touchdown, maybe. But both of them, I mean, they're both going to see 10 to 12 targets. So it's pretty even there. I just think Justin Jefferson has more of that big playability. They throw the ball a little bit more downfield. So I think in that case, he'll end up with more yards. But I think Amon-Ra still, it will be close. It's not like it's going to be, a blowout where JJ goes off and Amon-Ra doesn't. They're both going to do their thing. But I just think that big playability from JJ gives him the edge there.
Yeah. There is also more opportunity with Harrison Smith being out. So I just had to take my guy this week. For record, you got to take him.
I ain't mad at it. And I've got, like I said, I've got a ton of St. Browns. So, I hope he does go off.
This is a great matchup to cover because there's so much fantasy relevancy on both sides. Like, for example, last week we didn't even talk tight ends, but I'm going to ask you guys about Irv Smith, who seemed to come on a little bit this last week, and TJ Hawkinson, who seems to be struggling just a tad. So we'll start with Steve this time. What do you think? Who's going to finish better this week at tight end?
I love Irv Smith, but I think Hawkinson will probably finish better. Again, Vikings defense is horrible. No Harrison Smith. But with Irv Smith, I mean, last week he did play a lot better. But even with the negative game script, he only saw 5 catches. He did drop the touchdown. He should have had a big touchdown. But he's just not playing all the snaps yet. He is still coming back from injury, so they're kind of slowly bringing him along. And the fact that I think they'll run Dalvin Cook a lot more this game and lean on that run, I would think that Hawkinson might have a better game than Irv Smith in this case.
Yeah, so I got to go with Hawk, but you are right that Goff and Hawk have not been on the same page so far this year. Hawk's leading the league in drops, I'm pretty sure right now. It's either the league or he's leading the tight ends, but I'm pretty sure he's leading the league in drops right now.
Neither one is good.
No, neither one's good. And then Yeah, I mean, they're just not on the same page, but I'm not I'm not hitting the red button quite yet because it is a contract year, so he's gonna wanna figure his stuff out. Like, I don't I'm not really questioning the motives right now. Um, as well as we saw last year, they were connecting last year before he got hurt. So I think they'll figure it out. I think it's just it's a mix of because some of the balls he's been getting haven't been the most pinpoint accurate. They've been kind of a little everywhere when he's been getting targeted. I don't know if it's just
Jared Goff.
it is Jared Goff, and it doesn't help that his weapons are like DJ Chark, who runs fast as hell, and then all of a sudden you're switching it up to a little bit of a bigger, slower guy. So, and even Swift, he's fast out of the backfield. So I just think there's a little bit of a timing issue that they're trying to figure out, and it's going to take some time. But at the end of the day, Hawkinson's a very athletic guy, and he's still going to get his touches eventually. So,
yeah, he is a very good tight end. So I'm sure they'll figure it out. All right, let's go on to our final statements. This is your chance to just kind of reemphasize anything you want to about your team, to talk a little trash, however you feel like filling your time, which I'm not even timing it. So we'll start with the visiting team once again. Andrew, we'll let you go first, my guy.
all right. So I'll just start off by saying a couple things I would look out for is the defense has been underestimated. Week 1, Aiden Hutchinson had a terrible game. He had like an assist of a tackle, and that's it. Week 2, we saw a big improvement. Rodrigo's been everywhere.
Rodrigo. Sorry, I had to. It's from Hard Knocks.
And then Amani didn't play last week, though, so that was a big part of, Lions fans know Will Harris is terrible. He's actually a safety. He got burnt so bad playing safety in the past. We moved him to corner. Even worse. So, so now that we have Amani back, not having him on the field is going to be huge. So I think that this defense, with how much improvement made to week 2, and now even having our guys back there on the back end, I think this defense may be a little sneaky surprise. As I'm not expecting them to come out and dominate, but I think some people will be surprised by some of the things they can do.
All right, Steve, your turn.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I think the Vikings come out on top. We're back at home, so I'm happy and comfortable with that. Perfect time to kind of get back on track, especially after last week. Again, expect Dalvin Cook to run all over. Watch out for Daniil Hunter and Zadarius Smith. They've been playing really good lately. And then, unfortunately, the Lions are still, the third or fourth best team in the division. Unfortunately. But I do love Swift and I do love Amon-Ra, so I got to definitely throw that out there and give them credit for that. But the Lions are very much improved though compared to what they've been in the past. So I do like the Lions this year as a little kind of sleeper team.
You got to at least tell me we're better than the Bears. Come on, we're not that bad.
Yeah, as of right now, yes. I mean, Justin Fields, 70 yards passing is just dismal, and that's just upsetting, especially if you have Mooney, which I do in one of my leagues. Which sucks, but
I had him in a league. I don't anymore.
It's like, yeah, you might as well donate him. Like, here you go, just send him off. But
I yeeted him off into waivers.
But yeah,
I was one of the few people who thought Justin Fields was going to be a bust. I thought he was too much of a one read kind of guy, and that's so far what he's been.
I wasn't expecting a ton from Fields. I expected more from Mooney, but
they were all right last year, though. Even though they were horrible, they still, I mean, Mooney still finished, decent numbers. I think he finished a wide receiver 2, if I'm not mistaken, low end wide receiver 2.
So when did Robinson get hurt last year, though?
I don't know,
because that's a big blow that he doesn't have that on the other side of him.
Yeah, that could be true as well. They've got nobody there, but yeah, I mean, I like Detroit this year a little more than they have in the years past, but unfortunately, they're still not better than the Vikings or the Pack.
We'll see on Sunday.
I think they are better than the Pack.
They could be. They could be. I'm not totally out on Aaron Rodgers yet, but I mean, the Lions' offense is obviously explosive. So
yeah,
well, I just gotta see the explosiveness stay for. Just give me 4 more weeks and I'll start believing in it. But I still have my doubts. I'm like, okay, it's been 2 weeks. We need to wait and see.
Yeah.
Well, that's one more week, I guess, than the Vikings did because they got shut down.
Yeah,
The other
against the team that we were right there with.
So bad, so bad.
Yeah, that was a rough game because I hate the Eagles. So watching that happen to you guys broke my heart. And
Yeah, I was live. I think I was live on the time doing one of my shows, and I was just cursing and screaming. But
try not to cry on camera.
no, my God.
No, but yeah, man.
You should be happy you didn't see me during my Eagles game because it was like we were right there. We just couldn't get that one stop, and I was like screaming so much every time. I'm like, "What was this?" Like, there's so many intentional groundings that weren't called. Like the NFL literally apologized to us. I'm like, when are these apologies gonna stop and you guys actually do it?
Right?
The apologies don't help anything. All right, gentlemen, I'm excited for this game. I think it's going to be really good. A lot of fantasy points.
Oh,
So
definitely.
good luck to both your teams. Good luck to you both in fantasy.
Appreciate
Thank you, everybody, for watching. We'll see y'all next time.
All right. Thanks, guys.
Thank you.